Turquoise waters, zero crowds, wild dolphins, desert cliffs dropping straight into the sea, and no jet lag. So, why isn't everyone talking about the Sea of Cortez? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the best kept secrets in sailing. Let's go to La Paz, Mexico.
Welcome to the What Could Go Right podcast. We are your hosts, Eric Orton.
And I'm Emily Orton.
And here we talk about personal growth and sailing. In 2014, we moved aboard a fixer-upper sailboat and bootstrapped a year sailing with our 5 kids, and it changed our lives forever.
We tell the whole story in our memoir, our book, 7 at Sea. On this podcast, we want to help you go from fear to freedom, one adventure at a time. Okay, we offer sailing trips in so many gorgeous, stunning, just kind of exotic environments. And yet we find that the La Paz, Mexico trip seems to really be under radar for people when they think about an exotic vacation. Why do you think the Sea of Cortez is still so under radar?
Well, it was under radar for me for a long, long time. We had already sailed in the Caribbean. We'd sailed in the Bahamas. We'd been to French Polynesia. We'd been to New Zealand. We'd been through the Med. You know, we'd sailed through Greece and into Italy. And I think Mexico was the last place that I discovered. And I went there, what was it, 2025? So it would have been early 2023. And
2024 is when you started sailing there, right?
Is it?
Well, it's 2025 now.
I think it was the end of I think it was like December 2023. And then I went again in April of 2024 because I loved it so much. Like I literally went back 4 months later. And the main reason that I went there was because 2 sailing mentors of mine couldn't stop talking about it. If you're looking for great people to follow for travel adventures, Bumfuzzle, it's
Pat and Ali Schultz.
Pat and Alti Schulte and their now kids have been traveling the world for probably 15 years now. And they were the first ones that just talked about it and really talked it up. And then Totem, Bean and Jamie Gifford, who are also dear friends and mentors of ours, they spent, I think, a year in the Sea of Cortez. And they have now sailed all the way around the world. I'm not up to the minute with them, but I know they've sailed around the world once and probably most of a second time. And they just talked about it with such love that I thought, I've got to go check this out. So it was December of 2023 that we went there for the first time. And I just couldn't believe it. It was incredible. And so your question is, why is it under radar?
Do you think like maybe people think Mexico just doesn't sound adventurous enough? Like it's right next door?
I think for a lot of them, I've only been to La Paz. I've been to Tijuana and La Paz. That's it. And actually, no, Cabo. You kind of go through Cabo on your way there. But for a lot of people, yeah, I think Mexico's proximity makes it feel less exotic. Bora Bora is like, oh my goodness, it's out there. And it is beautiful. I love Bora Bora. And Greece and Italy, they have sort of a ring to them, and the Caribbean and the Bahamas also. But Mexico, the Sea of Cortez, it's kind of like the girl next door kind of a thing,
I like that. Yeah.
And so you just sort of overlook Mexico. And I've never been to the Yucatan Peninsula. I haven't been to Puerto Vallarta or a lot of the other places. But what I found is that it is by far the easiest place to get to. Right now we live in Salt Lake City, and in 3 hours, I can get on a plane, fly there, no jet lag, no time change, and I can be on the boat the same afternoon. I leave that morning, and it's insane to me how close it is geographically. It's a totally different climate. Like you said, it's you're in this protected body of water because it's technically not the Pacific Ocean. You're inside the Baja Peninsula, between the Baja Peninsula and mainland Mexico, and so it's sheltered. It's still, the water's a little bit cooler because it's the Pacific Ocean, so you're not getting sort of the bathtub warm waters of the Bahamas. Um, but you get this incredible wildlife that Jacques Cousteau called the aquarium of the world, is how he described the Sea of Cortez. The whales, the dolphins, the sea lions, the jumping stingrays, the all kinds of fish, and in the birds. It's really phenomenal. I could go on. I don't know if you
Yeah,
want
no,
to.
I love that. I know they have bioluminescence. Did you come across any of that in your 2 trips?
I haven't.
Okay.
I'm sure it's there.
You can
There's, I
look it
mean,
up.
there's reasons I want to keep going back. We're going there in October because I just love it.
Will you tell us about some of the natural wonders that you saw when you went there? Like it's specifically about the wildlife, any experiences that you had with the wildlife?
Yeah, there's this picture that it was our first trip. I think it was our first trip, and because the landscape, just to paint the picture, it's these red rock cliffs. There's very little vegetation. It's mostly cactus, cacti, and it's one of the most remote places that I've sailed. Once we leave La Paz, which is about 2 hours north of Cabo, we sail into these national park islands, and it's one of the few places we go where you just lose cell service.
They have
If,
like UNESCO
yeah,
World Heritage sites and
and so you really, and there's nothing there. A lot of places we go to have restaurants or shops on shore, or at least like a beach bar or something, and you go this area where we sail and there's nothing. There's one beach that's kind of close to where we start that you can get to by land, and a lot of people like to visit it because it's still part of sort of the mainland peninsula. But then once you pass that, it's very difficult to get out to these other islands. You have to go by boat, and there are no marinas, no shops, no restaurants, and the wildlife is very protected. And the only thing out there that's reflects civilization is there's one fishing hut.
mm,
Anyway, to the point is, you sail into these long inlet bays, and one of the guys on the trip just had out his nicer DSLR camera with a lens, and he was taking shots of things far away, and he got this beautiful shot of two stingrays just jumping up out of the water, silhouetted against the sky, like mid-flight, and it's just like this beautiful National Geographic photo, and that's the kind of stuff you can see there. I don't want to make any promises of what people will
sure.
see because you don't know if you're going to see dolphins or if you're going to see whales or if you're going to see jumping stingrays, but they are there. And
Hmm.
so the chances go way up if you go there. And I'll also say this, the pristine is the word that comes to mind when
Hmm.
I describe it. Uh, you've got the Bahamas and the Virgin Islands, which I love and go to often. Um, but there's sort of a developedness to those places, whereas La Paz and the islands north of there are just completely untouched. The only people are out there are on boats. The most sort of civilized it gets is there's this one island called I forget, it's Islota something, but it's an island where the sea lions will just congregate and climb up onto the rocks, and there's just hundreds of them. And so these day trip boats will come up from La Paz and sometimes from Cabo, and so there can be a lot of boat traffic during the day going up to see the sort of hot spot for wildlife. But everyone's there to enjoy nature, to enjoy the wildlife, and then in the evening they all head back to the city, and things are just silent again. And so it's the other thing I have to say is that there are these beautiful deep lagoons where you sail the boat in, we sail in and we anchor, and when you get off the boat, you swim a little ways, and then you're up to water in your waist, and then you can walk for a mile in this shallow turquoise water that will rival any lagoon in Bora Bora, but it's just you know so close and beautiful and easy to get to. So that's why I think it's under radar, and that's why I love going some of those things.
Yeah. So if you are looking for a true getaway, a true reset, like I don't want to be around all the people, around the crowds, around people trying to get me to, buy something or whatever, and you really just want to get away and have the quiet and the water and the sky and the cliffs, and quite possibly some unique interactions with the wildlife and just good company. Um, that's a really special, special trip. I want to take a second to just talk about what our navigator sailing trips kind of look like when you're going to La Paz, because it's a quick flight from here to Mexico, but we don't fly directly into La Paz.
You can.
You can.
I'll say this because
Yeah.
when we were doing the first trip, the plan was to fly into La Paz, and then somebody in our group said, "Oh, you know what? I can fly for a hecton cheaper into Cabo, and then I can rent a car for a nickel and drive from. It's 2 hours from Cabo up to La Paz, and you get this kind of cool drive through the desert and up the coastline, and you can save a bunch on a very expensive flight because La Paz has an airport, but it's a small airport, which means expensive flights, small planes."
Okay, so typically what we recommend, or what our guests are interested in, is fly to Cabo,
Mm-hmm.
rent a car. It's a little more than a nickel. It's like 2 nickels.
Yeah.
And then drive together.
We'll carpool. Yeah, we usually rent 2 cars, pile into those 2 cars, and then drive together.
Drive together up to La Paz. And then when you get to La Paz, this marina is so beautiful. And it's just so well kept. And anyway, I've been to this marina in La Paz, and I was really impressed.
And you've been to a lot of marinas.
I've been to a lot of marinas, and this one was really pretty, really nice, and really comfortable. And I felt like it was a destination. Just the marina itself was so nice. And then you get all set up the first night, sleep on the boat, and probably head out in the morning. And in very little time, it's like you're in an otherworldly place.
Yeah, there's no big sailing distance that you have to cover to be somewhere pretty special.
And then you're out for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday morning. You come in.
Back to the dock.
All the new best friends swap photos, take pictures together, and have this drive back to Cabo to sort of enjoy each other's company, recount their many stories, grab souvenirs if you want, because you're not buying souvenirs on a pristine cliff side with a cactus.
Yeah, there are no restaurants to hit, and there are no places to pick up a souvenir during the week when we're sailing.
And then, is there anything else they should know about besides how gorgeous the marina is? I also went to Balandra Bay, which is one of those shallow beach areas that you're talking about, where you can walk for a very long time in gorgeous water that maybe just goes up to your calf.
Yeah, it's a beautiful spot. I think, I always run the risk of hyping something too much, that people will get there and be like, "Oh, it's not all that Eric said it would be." But I just think I think people right now are underestimating the Sea of Cortez in La Paz, Mexico. And so I guess we are hyping it a little bit. And I will just say that one of my favorite things, and it all kind of depends on how day 1 and day 2 go. This marina, it's part of a little bit of a resort. There's a golf course that's right there. So if you like golf, you can golf before or after the trip. They have fantastic restaurants with incredible Mexican food. And there's also, not all the places that we go have pools included, but at this marina, just by sailing on a boat out of this marina, you get access to this beach club that has a beautiful beachfront and a pool. And if there's time between when we get there and when we need to get on the boat, or after we arrive at the end of the trip and before you have to go catch your flight, it's really great to just walk over and enjoy this beach and take a swim in the pool. And just being in the marina and around it at this beach club it's a great way to start the trip. It's a great way to end the trip. And then you get some of the best sailing in the world in the middle, in my opinion.
And probably without the jet lag, depending on where you're flying from, but you don't get time zone whiplash, and it's just pristine islands, hours from the dock, and you can just have these gorgeous national parks where you can drop anchor and just be you.
Yeah.
With all that beauty and all that quiet. If that's the kind of thing that you're looking for, you should definitely schedule a call to see if it's a fit for you.
And if you're scratching your head thinking, I might want to go might want to go. We do have a trip planned for October 20th through the 25th of this year. There's a couple cabins available at the moment. It's one of my favorite trips to do, and ironically, it's one of the easiest, for travel, and also it's the lowest price. It's the lowest price trip that we have left before
Yeah.
prices go up in 2026, and it's also the if you don't want to pay for expensive flights to the South Pacific or to Europe, this is a great way to get out on a boat in a beautiful place for the best price out there.
Yeah, I think so too. Hey, what could go right? How do you say that in Spanish?
All right, we hit stop and record. We went and looked it up. Here it is.
Que saldría bien.
Que saldría bien. There you go. Hey guys, it's Eric. Before we wrap up today, I want to give you the sailing update. First of all, Italy is sold out. So if you want to go to Italy, you'll have to go another time. We'll miss you. Arrivederci. But Italy is sold out. However, we are going to be in Greece July 19th through the 26th. We have one cabin left. That is for 2 people. So you can fit up to 2 people, or if you want it to yourself, you can book both spots. But we will be sailing out of Athens July 19th through the 26th. We will be in Croatia August 2nd through the 9th. We'll fly in and out of Split. I have one full cabin and I have one solo spot. I don't know. I can't remember if it's a solo guy spot or female spot. But if you're interested in going to Croatia solo, hit me up. We'll see what we can make happen. I do have 1.5 cabins available for that. Cool thing about these trips, they are 2 days longer than our normal trips. So you get these bonus days. So they're kind of an extra value. And they're beautiful, beautiful spots. So let us know. Also, this is kind of a fun one. I'm going to be going to Greece, and there's a lady who sailed with me 4 times now. Her name is Sandy, and she is sponsoring a ladies only trip. Emily and I are going to be hosting this. It's for women only, and there's going to be 2 parts. You can sail with us for a week, and if you want to, you can also join Sandy for a week of spa and fun land-based excursions that she's organizing. You can do one part, just sailing, or you can do both parts. But if we're going to be back in Greece, September 20th through the 27th, we're going to be sailing out of Corfu, which is Western Greece. Beautiful, beautiful spot. So if you're interested in coming on that ladies only trip, let me know. We are then going to be in La Paz, Mexico, the Sea of Cortez, October 20th through the 25th. This is one of the hidden gems of locations that we go to. Most people kind of don't give Mexico its due. It's one of the most stunning spots, and I love it. And we happen to have 2 cabins left. So if you're interested, let me know. We're going to be in Mexico, August 20th through the 25th. We are going to be in the British Virgin Islands, November 10th through the 15th. We have 1 solo female spot. The rest of the boat is already sold out, but if you're a lady traveling solo, you'd be paired up with another lady who's coming by herself. We have 1 solo spot on that trip in the BVI. And then our year wraps up with the Bahamas, December 8th through the 13th. We have 1.5 cabins, meaning 1 full cabin and then a solo spot. And again, I haven't looked up if it's a male or a female spot, but if you're interested, let me know. Would love to have you aboard in the Bahamas. A great way to end 2025. That is the sailing update.